It worked. I was able to calm down and had a full conversation with him in Spanish. That tip you gave me was bomb. That's a message one of my students sent me. So, what was this juicy tip and why did it work so well for her? Stick around because if you've ever blanked out the moment someone started speaking Spanish to you, this just might change the game. First, if you're new to me, bienvenido or bienvenida. My name is Erica. I'm a former Spanish medical interpreter turned Spanish teacher and language coach now living abroad here in Mexico. I help Spanish learners who are preparing for relocation or deep communication with their family, community, or colleagues have the conversations that they so desire and develop the relationships that they want. If that sounds like something you are wanting to accomplish, then you are in the right place. Have you ever been in a situation where someone says one thing to you in Spanish and you just freeze because you don't know what was said and you don't know what to do now? And then from there, even if you ask them to repeat, somehow your confidence just feels a little shot. This happens a lot, especially when meeting someone new or talking to a fast talker that you just always have trouble understanding. And it's not always because you don't know the words. Sometimes it's just because you have zero control of what's coming at you and you just get nervous. It's happened to me so many times before, and that's how I came up with this trick. It's very simple. Take control of the conversation. Instead of waiting for the other person to speak, you go first. Be the one to greet, ask a question, or bring up a topic. Here's why this works. You choose the topic, which means that you're much more likely to understand their response. You open the door for follow-up, and you can still guide the conversation without struggling to catch up. You adapt to their voice. If their response to your question is pretty lengthy, that gives you a few seconds or even a couple of minutes to adapt to their accent or speaking speed. You calm your nerves because starting out by confidently taking control of the conversation helps your brain trust that you can handle this. It's kind of like jumping into a pool on your own rather than being pushed in. Either way, you still have to swim, but the start feels totally different. Let me show you how this might work in real life. So imagine that you're meeting someone new. So a friend has just introduced you to another friend. Instead of waiting for that friend to say something like, Hola Carla, ¿a qué te dedicas? Which might, for whatever reason, just throw you off. You start with, Hola, soy Carla. ¿De dónde eres? ¿Es tu primera vez aquí? Whatever you want to say, the point is that you start the conversation. If you follow this example, then you're on the topic of introductions, which may be something that you've already practiced. What if you're not meeting someone new, but you're seeing someone who you've talked to before, or maybe even see frequently, but tend to struggle to understand, especially when they just blurt something out and you're not into flow with the conversation yet? Maybe it's your chatty neighbor or a fast-speaking coworker. Try things like, Hola, ¿cómo has estado? ¿Qué tal tu semana? ¿Todavía estás trabajando en el mismo proyecto? Me dicen que fuiste a Oaxaca. ¿Cómo te fue? So just depending on how long it's been since you've seen them, just ask how they've been doing since the last time. Or if there's something that you know about them, bring that up first. And now you're not stuck trying to figure out what they just said. You're on a topic that you chose. Even just starting with something like, Qué gusto verte, gives you momentum and just a few seconds to think. This may sound like a tiny tweak, but it makes such a huge difference. So try it this week or this weekend and let me know how it goes in the comments below. I'd love to hear if it helped. If you enjoyed this 5-minute tip, well, trust me, my 60-minute workshop is full of these gems to get you speaking confidently. You can find that at ericarealanguage.com/90days or by joining the link in the description. I'll see you there.
If you are thinking about joining Elevate, don't think too long because it is the right program. Whatever you need as a student, you share that with the team and they will definitely help you reach those goals. And you will feel like you're the only student that they have because it's just like, okay, what do you need? Not anybody else, but just you. And so you feel like you're important in this program.